Greetings, fellow ukuleleans. Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new ukulele tutorial. I'd like to do another in our essential chord progression series. This time we're talking about the 1-4-5. This is one of the most common chord progressions in all of Western music. I've probably called quite a few of the progressions that we've done common, but I'd say this one beats them all. This is the most common chord progression. There's hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of songs that use this, so getting familiar with the 1-4-5 means you can play a lot of songs, and they happen to usually be easy songs. Only having 3 chords like that tends to make them easy, and they're good for beginners, but you can do some interesting things with them to make them a little more intermediate or advanced too, if you don't want to just play those easy 3-chord songs. So let's get into what the 1-4-5 chord progression actually is. I was just playing La Bamba by Richie Valens, a great song. Los Lobos did that great version of it too for the movie. That's a 1-4-5 chord progression. It's the chords C, F, and G. There are no other chords in the song except for a C chord, an F chord, and a G chord. So in the key of C, just to explain this really briefly in a music theory context, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, and C is back to 8, same as 1. So you've got 7 chords in the key, and out of those we're using 3 of them. We're using the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. C, D, E, F, there's 4, and G, there's 5. So I do this in a lot of my videos, using my fingers to illustrate this, but you could write them down on a piece of paper, write those letter names down, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then see which is the first letter you wrote, which is the 4th letter you wrote, and which is the 5th letter you wrote. A lot of different ways to do this. But if you read music, even better, then you could write out the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B and C on a musical staff, and you could see them that way. So whatever makes sense to you, whatever your learning style is, but regardless of how you go about doing it, understanding this is really fundamental. It's one of the most important things as a musician you could know about. You don't have to be a huge music theory geek to get into this. This is like basic knowledge, and even if you never go any further into music theory except understanding the 1-4-5 chord progression, you're going a long way into being a more literate and more able musician. So highly recommend that you learn this stuff, which is why I'm making this video, helping you get your 1-4-5s together. So let's go over La Bamba a little bit. I'm not going to show you that lick, although it's cool. I've done this in other videos. If you really need the tab for that, I'll be glad to send it to you. Just put a note down in the comment section below, and we'll private message, and I'll get it to you. But in the meantime, let's talk about those chords. So we had C, the 1 chord in the key of C. We had F, the 4 chord in the key of C, and G, the 5 chord in the key of C. 1-4-5. And so that is why you hear musicians talk like that a lot. You hear that, a lot of mention of that, 1-4-5. Maybe you're at a jam session or something, and somebody calls a song. You say, oh, geez, I don't know that song. And they'll say, don't worry, it's just 1-4-5 in the key of G, or something like that. And that's musician talk for it's using the 1st chord of the key, 2nd chord, the 4th chord of the key, and the 5th chord of the key. So that's the key of C. Let's just very quickly look at one more key. Let's look at the key of G, because that's a kind of common ukulele key too. So in the key of G, we have G being 1, A being 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, F sharp is 7, and G is 8, or the same as 1. So I'm not going to explain right now about F sharp. You'll just have to trust me on that, but that is the 7th degree of a G major scale. And then we only need the 1-4-5. So we're talking about G is 1, we're talking about C is 4, and we're talking about D is 5. So G, C, D. That makes the 1-4-5 in the key of G. A lot of songs use that. I'd like to go over a couple of titles of songs besides La Bamba, and then we'll learn to play La Bamba a little bit. This wouldn't be a tutorial unless we learn to play something, so we'll definitely do a little playing in a second. But let me read my little list here. So La Bamba, There's The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. You Gotta Know When to Hold 'Em. That song. That's 145. Wild Thing. Everyone knows that song. That early kind of garage rock 60s thing by the Trogs. Wild Thing. Steer It Up by Bob Marley. Reggae song. You've got Summertime Blues. Eddie Cochran. Late 50s. Early rock and roll. Bad Moon Rising. Creedence Clearwater Revival. 145. The chorus of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. 145. Stand by REM. 80s. I think 80s, possibly 90s, that song. Stand in the place where you work. That song. So they've got 145 going on there. Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. 145. Joy to the World. Christmas Carol. 145. Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis. I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry. Maybelline by Chuck Berry. Rock Around the Clock, Bill Haley and the Comets. Roll Over Beethoven by Chuck Berry. Obviously Chuck Berry was big into 145, as was almost all early rock and roll. Let's see, Song Sung Blue by Neil Diamond. That's 145. And you also got The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Remember that one? In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. That's a beginner kind of ukulele song. Really good one to get your 145 together on. And I could go on and on. That's just a short list, but already I think I named like 20 songs. So it's amazing how many use 145. That's why we're here. It's just so important. All right, let's learn to play La Bamba. So you got C, F, and G, but you do them C for 2 beats, F for 2 beats, but then G is for 4 beats. Put that together into a pattern and it's... Now that wouldn't actually sound very exciting if you played it that way. That's just the bare bones minimum of what you would play on a song like that. We want to make it a little more exciting and get a little more rhythmic energy going here. So how about down, down, up on C, down, down, up on F, and then down, down, up on G. That might be slightly more exciting. Let's see. It's all right. That would totally work, you know, if you're doing a nice basic version without anything too fancy. I do believe that would work. But one of the things about La Bamba is it was written by Richie Valens, who had Mexican heritage. And Richie Valens, you know, kind of knew about Mexican music quite a bit. He had it in him and heard it all around him. And Mexican music does tend to have syncopation, as does all Latin music. All music that comes from Spanish-speaking countries tends to have a lot of syncopation, tends to have a lot of rhythm, because they use a lot of percussion instruments in their music. And so being percussive and syncopated and rhythmic, it's got a little more than just down, down, up going on in it. So here's the ultimate strum that we would do. There's a couple things going on there that help make it interesting, and one of the main things is that transition from F to G. That is an anticipation. That's when you hit a chord a little early. You don't hit it on the beat, you hit it on the and of the previous beat, and that creates syncopation. In this case, an anticipation, doing something early, as opposed to delay, which is doing something later, which you hear in some jazz and swing oriented music. So syncopation is either making something happen sooner than you expect or making something happen later than you expect. That's basically the definition of syncopation. Puts it off the beat. It makes it, instead of when your foot taps on the beat, it makes the event happen when your foot's up in the air off the beat. And that's what makes the music interesting. It mixes things up and makes it less predictable. So instead of, which is okay, nothing wrong with that. But we could do better if we went 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. It's on the end of 4 that I'm getting into my G chord, not on one of the next measure, but a little earlier, half a beat earlier. Here it is very slow. See that? My hand went up because I was on the end of 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and there it is in a nutshell. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. So that is a little more authentic to the style. You could add some chucks in there too if you wanted to do a chuck on beats 2, 4, or 2 and 4, both of them, you could. And that kind of gives the illusion that there's a percussion instrument in there. Someone's playing congas or bongos or something along with our ukulele strumming. So that's even more authentic to the Latin style with syncopation. Alright, fellow ukuleleans, I hope you enjoyed that very quick tutorial on 145. We only went over one song today, but obviously there's hundreds and, like I said, possibly thousands of songs. So we'll have to do this again sometime in a part 2 or something. Thanks for watching, fellow ukuleleans. I urge you to subscribe and click like if you like this video. Be sure to click that notify bell up there at the top to know when I come out with new videos, and visit me at my Patreon page where you can always get tabs, chord diagrams, and all the goodies that would go along with this tutorial. Alright, fellow ukuleleans, you take care. Bye-bye.